Well, welcome everyone to Friday's virtual parent coffee. Thanks for tuning in to join us. As is my habit, I'm going to start with some announcements and updates about the school. And then here in this view, perhaps you can see Jeff Shirk with us this morning. He's going to start the summer to be Pine's new athletic director. And we look forward to having a little time for him to introduce himself and answer some questions after I go through my presentation. So let me get my screen up here for everyone. And I am recording this meeting, so just know that if you have someone who wanted to see it and wasn't able to be here, that will be linked in this week's nightly news on Sunday. So this is a really interesting time to be connecting with you all virtually. We're living here on campus through the fourth quarter. We didn't have this opportunity last spring, so it's a strange feeling to be going through the traditional events that mark the end of school for us, but to have missed a year of it. So, just know that this, it's always emotional to wind down the school year, but I think especially so this year as we hang on to what we value so much about our culture and community. The spring is always busy, and hopefully this will give you a little perspective on it. For those of you who are new to the Pine School, this will give you a sense of the pace of life here as we head into the final stretch. So first of all, know that our spring sports district play is going to be starting next week, and we hope for some very successful ends to our spring sports season. Next week on April 14th, we'll have a used uniform sale, and our parent volunteers are making those used uniforms available both in the morning and in the afternoon. So if you've got a youngster who's grown a little bit, please think about stopping in and supporting our Parents Association. Or if you've got some uniforms you need to drop off, you can do that at that time or really anytime there in the gym. We will have our junior senior prom a week from Saturday. And then the following week, we will have our new student welcome reception. This, of course, is another event we didn't have the chance to have last year. It promises to be an awesome one this year. We have almost 50 students new to the school already eager to join us in the fall. We're going to have a 9th and 10th grade dance on Friday following that. And then moving into the last week of April, we'll have our athletic awards night on Tuesday. That typically is a banquet evening for us. We're not going to be serving dinner, but we look forward to honoring our student athletes for all they've accomplished this year in sports. And then our favorite day of the year, field day, will be on April 30th. And that event will be outside. We're coordinating some of the details now about setup and how we can successfully capture as much of that day as we normally would. I've had several people say, are parents going to be able to come? And I look forward to welcoming parents. Again, we'll be outside, and as long as I can count on people to respect what we need to and support of public health with keeping their distance and wearing masks, I think that we can have a really awesome event. We will roll into AP testing over the first 2 weeks in May, and then have a few events along the way. On May 7th, our middle schoolers will have a bash to round out their school year. And then also, we will have the Pine School annual general meeting on May 13th. That is, it's an adult event, and it's a time for the board chair, that's Liza Hutchinson, and I to give sort of a state of the school update and really connect the parent and employee community. Friends of the school sometimes come, but just, to connect you all with the more visionary aspect of what it's been like for the year past, and then what we're looking forward to for the year ahead. And then happily, Megan Alvarado and Dorothy Castle have configured a way to hold a spring music concert. We'll do that outside, and I think we all look forward to a little casual, bring your lawn chairs and blankets kind of feel for our spring concert we'll have. And the list continues. I hope you're not getting too tired just looking at all of this. May 16th, that's a Sunday, we will have the Pine School Golf Tournament. You will see an email come out, I believe this morning around 10 o'clock from our development office, and I really encourage you to come out and play if you happen to golf. We'd love to have your support. And that event this year, I'm happy to say, is going to support a few capital projects we have working in the athletic area. On May 18th, we'll have our college pep rally. May 19th will be capstone presentations for our seniors. The 20th will be Evening of Academic Excellence. And now this is where we conclude the year for our seniors. On May 21st, we'll have baccalaureate in St. Christopher's Church. And then on the 22nd, we'll have commencement. So all of that will be a wonderful, wonderful week for our seniors as we congratulate them on their commencement. On May 27th, we'll have our middle school awards assembly, and then May 28th will be a half day. That's a Friday, and it will be the last day of school for everyone. So a lot of excitement coming, yearbooks to be distributed, final projects to be completed, final games to be played, final dances to go to. Our lower school students will also have some wonderful learning celebrations, and please look forward to that communication that will happen by grade level. So, buckle your seatbelts and come along for this amazingly fun ride as we round out the year. I have not included a time in May for a virtual parent coffee. You will just, get updates about our calendared events and whatnot throughout the end of the year. But this will be my last virtual coffee for the for the year. Let me go on to some updates to offer. I've been giving updates every month just about COVID-19 and its impact on our school community. Again, I would say, as I did last month, that impact on our community here at Pine appears to, have dissipated. Many faculty and staff have had success getting vaccines, and now some of our students are starting to get vaccines as Florida's opened up that opportunity to all adults. The Pine School will continue to follow masking and social distancing protocols at this time, even though I do recognize that we've got members of our community who are now fully vaccinated. I watch the numbers a lot, and from just the advice I've gotten from medical professionals, it really has to do, our response to that and the protocols we want to maintain really has to do with the community transfer of that virus. And just a few days ago, Martin County had 60 new cases reported and then 61 the day after. And, I also watch the positivity rate. And so that's the number of people who get tested for COVID-19 who come back with a positive result. And a couple days ago, that was 9%. So I will have people say, well, what's it going to be like next fall? What do we think we're going to be doing with these protocols? Please believe me when I say I hope that we return to school with as much normalcy as possible. But I want your patience as we navigate that. I think that a lot about this situation continues to grow, to change and evolve. And I'd like to monitor it and to wait and get advice from public health care officials or other medical professionals who are much more informed than I about what's best to do in support of public health. But I know that a lot of it has to do with the number of people who want to be vaccinated, who can get vaccinated, and then what happens to that community positivity rate and transfer rate. Happily, the Pine School has not had to follow up on any positive COVID-19 cases on campus since we returned from spring break. And I'm knocking on my wooden desk right now saying that, I just really hope that we can finish the year as healthy as we've been since returning from that time away. So thank you for all you are doing on the family level, when your kids aren't in school or on the weekends, just to make sure that we can keep our school community healthy. So those are some updates to offer along those lines. And then a few other points of interest. Last month, I told you a little bit about what we're seeing with enrollment for fall 2021. At this time, it remains strong. And these numbers, what's kind of curious to see now, if you think about where we were a year ago, we were out on remote learning. There was so much uncertainty and hesitation in the world as people just hunkered down and got their bearings to see how our world would navigate things amidst this pandemic. So Beth and I, along with a couple other colleagues, were here by ourselves on campus, and things really slowed down in our admission office. I think there was just, people just didn't know what to do and didn't want to necessarily move forward with a major decision like a school choice for their children. So the applications we have this year were at 189. That's applications completed. Doesn't necessarily mean those families finished the application process. They might not have turned in all their supporting materials, but we compare that to the number last year, which was 73. So that's an incredible increase. We have made 78 offers to students for admission. And last year at this time, we had sent out 46 offers of admission. we have 48 contracts that have been submitted. So that means 48 kids are on board to come and join us in the fall at the Pine School. That is so exciting. Last year at this time, it was 14. And again, I just would say that I think had a lot to do with the way that everyone just sort of paused their decision process amidst the COVID-19 pandemic unfolding. So what I would offer to you as well, and this is, really like kind of even better news for me when I think about the way our community has come together and rallied around the school this year. The vast majority of Pine School students will return next year, which is so happy. It makes me so happy just to see that stability in our community. And we've had a great run of it, I think, here, just cementing those partnerships between the school and families as we've worked to provide the exceptional education here that we do. And it's always affirming to see families and students, returning, saying, this is great. This is a great choice for me and my family. Another little update I will throw out to you is that we are in the heart of the hiring season. I don't imagine we're going to have too much hiring to do, but we've got at least a couple faculty positions we'll be adding as our student body will grow from this year to next year. I would imagine it'll grow by almost 10%. So if you happen to know any fine educators out there, I would just, invite you to spread the word. I'm always grateful to take referrals from people who know our community already and are connected to someone who might serve us really well in a faculty or staff capacity. So just, giving you that little heads up. So that's it for me for my announcements. I'm going to come off of my presentation here so that we can get on to our special guest who's joined us. Jeff Shirk is the Pine School's new athletic director. We're so happy to have recruited Jeff to our Pine School community. We looked long and hard to find a great fit for who could lead our athletic program in the coming years, and really happy to know that Jeff is going to move to Hobe Sound with his family. So welcome, Jeff. Thanks for taking some time to be here with us today.
Thanks, Benny. I appreciate everyone taking the time to hear from me and let me talk and start to get to know everybody.
Absolutely. Well, I'd love for us to begin to get to know you. Why don't you take a moment or two and just introduce yourself, a little bit of your, your background, and then perhaps, speak to the group about what motivated you to be interested in this professional move in the Pine School.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, first, this is a family move for us. So I've got my wife and I have 3 kids. So my wife Liz, 3 kids. We've got Emily, who's going to be a 9th grader. We've got Anna, who's going to be a 7th grader, and we've got Garrett, who's going to be a 2nd grader. And so everybody is super excited, a little nervous, as you can imagine. Most kids are changing schools, but when you're going to a pretty cool place where we can show them the beach and the blue water and everything else, they're pretty excited about it. We're actually coming down this weekend. I'm going to have a quick trip because we're still in season. So I'm going to fly down with them on Saturday, and I'm leaving early Monday morning, but they're going to stay through Wednesday and come check out the Pine School and start to meet people and kind of get a better feel of the area. But so that's what we're doing now. And then just my quick background. I grew up in Northern New Jersey, went to school at the University of Maryland. That's where Liz and I met. And then I was an elementary education major. So I thought I was going to go down that path of teaching and coaching right out of college, and had an opportunity to get into college coaching. And so kind of followed the college route. And in recent years, just kind of woke up one morning and said, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I'm going to blink and my kids are going to be out of school and I'm going to miss seeing them grow up. And so I try to figure out how can I kind of pursue my passions, but also kind of balance that family life that I so badly want. And so started to pursue these opportunities, and then Pine came open, and just everything about it got me really excited. And then the further I got down the interview process and the more people I talked to and got to meet, and some of my contacts down in South Florida, how highly they spoke of the Pine School, it just all came together. So that's my quick background, but I hope you can tell how excited I am to get off this and get down there and start to meet everybody in person.
Thank you so much for that. I definitely get your excitement and have all along, Jeff. So, it's going to be great. So when you think about landing here in the summer and taking the leadership of our athletic program, what are you looking forward to, learning more about, or I guess, trying to get going among our student athletes?
Well, I think one of the things I'm most excited about, and Vinny and I talked about this a little bit before we got on the phone call, and Paxton, who I believe is on this call as well, has been doing all the legwork right now with I believe a little help from Kelly. But it's the weight room and it's the strength and conditioning piece of it, and it's the renovations that everyone's talking about doing, and the basically the sports performance piece. I met with our head strength and conditioning coach here and was kind of going over some of the companies that we've gotten quotes from down at the Pine School and getting his take as an expert in that field of which direction he thought we would go, and just my thought of being able to come down and have an off-field athletic development type program gets me really excited, because it's just being in coaching for so long. Once a season hits, there's very little you can do to actually make your athletes better. It's all the stuff you can do out of season around that strength and conditioning component, especially, for those younger aged students, to where they're trying to learn the coordination aspect. And if they're anything like me, they've got size 13 shoes and they're only 5'3" in ninth grade. And so gawky is an understatement. So anything you can do to kind of help with that coordination piece. So, so that's, one thing I'm really excited about to kind of get down and jump into right away.
Great. And I, I too look forward to that. I know that we've got a lot we can do for our athletes off season, just to keep them injury free when possible, and working on some of those larger physical benefits that we get from just being, generally fit. So I think that that's going to be great. I think that's going to be great. And, certainly lacrosse is near and dear to your heart. Do you think that you'll involve yourself with our lacrosse program next spring?
I do, 100%. And it's, I've gotten that question a lot. I think, I'm the type of person, I need to be involved in coaching. I don't have to be in control, so I don't have to be a head coach, or I don't have to be, calling the shots, but just from a standpoint of being around athletes and helping them develop, and, all those lessons that you can learn, in the athletic realm that can help you in every aspect. That's what gets me so excited. And so, whether it's the volleyball court or, I'm not very good at golf, but I would love to get out to a golf course and play a couple rounds with any of our golfers. So whatever sport that might be, I just 100% going to be involved in, obviously anything I can do from a lacrosse standpoint, because I feel like that's where a lot of my strengths are. I'm going to jump on and help as much as I can.
Terrific. That's wonderful. Well, I'm looking at the clock and we have got definitely a few minutes left. I don't know if there was something else you wanted to highlight for this group, or if we could go to let people come off mute, or maybe type any questions they might have into the chat box.
I think that was my thought, Benny, does anybody have any questions for me? What can I answer? How can I help you get to know me better right now?
Yeah. Sometimes this is a little quiet, this group. I'll let them ask me questions, and sometimes they're a little shy to speak up. It makes you wonder if there's anyone here with you. Why don't let's see.
I have a comment.
Yes, please.
Who?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to welcome you and to tell you that you and your wife and your kids, if you need any help down here to help you get settled, just reach out.
I really appreciate that.
And I'm Laura, by the way.
Laura, it's nice to meet you.
Laura, thanks for speaking up. Some of the people on this call may not even have met you yet. So Laura is a Spanish teacher who joined us mid-year and relocated. And every time I see her, she's got this wonderful smile and keeps talking about how happy she is to be at the Pine School and in South Florida. So she'll definitely be part of your welcome team.
I love it, Jeff. And I relocated from Connecticut, and I am so happy.
That is great to hear.
So I'm looking at the group who's here, and we actually have a really awesome representation of parents. We've got people who have lower school, middle school, and upper school children. And, back to that, I guess, strength and conditioning conversation, or that overall athletic development. I am excited to have your involvement in PE as well, just helping some of our lower school and younger students get interested in sports. Do you imagine you'll be involved in PE as well?
I do. I don't want to step on any toes. So
Yep.
it's as long as I'm invited, I want to be involved.
Yeah.
But just on my tour down there, I mean, I'm assuming that in the gym, there's a lot of PE classes going on when you can't get outside. And
Absolutely.
with the office being right there, I picture hearing some voices and popping my head out there and participating as much as I'm able to, as long as I don't make our PE instructors angry that I'm around.
I'm sure that won't happen. I'm sure that won't happen. Another thing that might be great to tell this group a little bit about, I know when the students interviewed you, as part of a part of our hiring process, they were eager to hear you talk a little bit about college sports and just how you would look forward to, I guess, advising student athletes here on the high school side if they consider playing college sports. And so, if you could for a moment, maybe share with this group the insight you hope to offer, having been on the other side of that, on the college coaching side, and some of the ways you might direct kids here if they were curious about playing sports in college.
Definitely. I mean, that's something I want to help immediately with, and that can be in a formal venue of if parents want to get together and we want to have something like that, like this, it could be in an informal venue where students, parents just come one-on-one and want to talk specifics to them. But I think the biggest thing is there are so many opportunities to play athletics at the collegiate level, from, of course, your high level D1, but all the way down to the club sports that sometimes get overlooked, but still take commitment and a ton of preparation and work. So just to be able to talk students through that. And then also, the part to me that I think is always the most confusing is that admissions process. So when you're dealing with a coach at the collegiate level and also with, the admissions department, how do they communicate with each other? Who should you talk to about what things? How do you navigate the whole process? I want to help in any way I can. And one of the neat things too is that, the connections that I have just from being in some of the places I have, it's, if someone walks in and says, "Hey, what do you think about this sport at this school?" Chances are I'll have a connection somewhere of, this coach who knows that person at this school to where we can get some information and just, help try to make the process less stressful if that's possible. Because I know how stressful it can be for everybody involved.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, great. Well, I, again, want to open it up. Does anyone else have any questions or comments they want to offer? Oh, okay. So, let's see. So this is Chrissy McNicholas, and Chrissy is the proud parent of 3 Pine School Lower School students. And she says, are we going to have any opportunities for sports related camps or programs for younger kids? So, we won't take any promises right now, but just thoughts that you might have about engaging our younger students, Jeff.
Yes is the answer. And I don't know in what capacity, because I've got to get down there and obviously get permission from Vinny and make sure I do things within the system. But, camps is one thing that I have been pretty passionate about for the last 20 years, with mainly girls and boys youth lacrosse camps, but have been involved in a lot of other camps as well. So it is definitely something that I would be excited to bring to the table. But not knowing exactly what is already offered and exactly what the process is for doing things down there. I want to come in and learn the system first, but 100% if we're able to offer as much as we can.
We'll definitely be able to put some things in place. And Chrissy, in the past, other lower school parents, we, not this year, but in previous years, we've had just little kind of athletic activities for kids as part of our aftercare program. We had a PE teacher a few years ago who just did, sort of a little round robin sports exposure program for kids after school. We've done a basketball after school program 1 day a week for lower school kids. So as long as we've got the space to do it and the interest to lead it, we're all for those types of activities. So I look forward to seeing some of that come together. Yeah. Anything else you want to be sure and talk about this morning? All right. Well, I think we're good. And so again, I just want to thank Jeff for taking the time out of his schedule to visit with us remotely this morning. And I hope everyone helps welcome the Shirk family, just as we always would at the Pine School when they're with us and they make that move over the summer. And then we'll see them all here with us in the fall, ready to go as part of our student body and adult leadership. So anyway, well, I hope everyone has a really great Friday. Don't forget that huge list of activities I ran through with you all when we first began our time together. I do hope that this is a spring where we enjoy many of the traditions we look forward to and are able to celebrate together as we finish our school year. So have a great Friday. Have a great weekend ahead, everyone. And thanks again. Bye.